Our mission at Home Senior Services is to help keep seniors in the independence and comfort of their own homes by providing the highest quality of care. Our hours of operation are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday in the office, and we answer phones with our on-call service 24/7. When you call in to our on-call service, the on-call scheduler will call you back within 30 minutes. If the on-call scheduler does not contact you back within 30 minutes, continue to call until you are in contact with them. This is to ensure that your message is received. As our seniors desperately need our care, it is absolutely imperative that we keep call-offs to a minimum. A 24-hour advance notice is required for all call-offs. If you call off 2 times in a month, you must have a doctor's excuse. Do not text call-offs. Only call the office line at 412-604-0410. You must give the office 2 to 3 weeks notice when you are taking a vacation. At Home Senior Services is an equal opportunity employer and will comply with the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and all requirements imposed by or pursuant to the regulations promulgated by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. No person will be refused based on race, religion, gender, age, handicap, national origin, or sexual preference. If you would like more details on this, please refer to your handbook. All employment through At Home Senior Services is classified as part-time agency employment. We can never guarantee full-time work. Hours of employment are contingent on consumer needs. We are an at-will employer. The employment relationship can be terminated at any time by either party, the employer or the employee. All employees are hired after a 90-day probationary period. Your date of hire is when you take your first assignment with At Home Senior Services. You are scheduled on your availability and current client needs. All scheduling is overseen by the scheduling department. You will receive your schedule on a per-monthly basis and must confirm your schedule with the office verbally. All schedule changes are to be made through the office with Mary Jo. Make sure that you have confirmation of schedule changes before you proceed with them. All of the following acts are considered insubordination. Any employee who commits any of these acts may be subject to a penalty imposed by At Home Senior Services. Yelling or using profanity with a supervisor, coworker, or client. Questioning the integrity of a supervisor. Admission of theft. Discussing pay rates with the other employees. Bringing a non-employee to a client's home without permission from the office. Disregard of the company's best interests. Not following At Home Senior Services policies and procedures. No weapons are permitted in the office or in clients' homes. Improper usage of social media and cell phones while on duty. No medical information, clinical operations, financial data, or personal relations matters are to be discussed, nor photos or videos to be taken at business-related events. No texting during work hours. Use of a client's telephone for personal calls is prohibited. You must remain awake on all assigned shifts. Sleeping during work hours is not acceptable. No call, no show will result in immediate termination unless you have accurate proof of documentation on why you could not call the office. We have zero tolerance for harassment and discrimination in the workplace. Disciplinary action that may be taken in the case of insubordination. 1. Verbal warning. A written documentation will be placed in the file of the employee with the supervisor's signature, date, and time of the event. 2. Written warning. Documentation will be on file. Another written warning will be put on file. This written warning will be signed and dated by both the supervisor and the employee. 3. Suspension. You will be suspended from At Home Senior Services without pay. The amount of time suspended will depend on the severity of the policy violation. 4. Discharge. Immediate termination. This could bypass lesser disciplinary steps. All incidents should be reported to the office supervisor and documented within a 24-hour time period from when the incident took place. Call 412-604-0410 to report an incident to the office staff. An incident report will be completed by the employee who witnesses, discovers, or is involved in any happenings. Any report of such an incident will be treated with the highest level of anonymity and confidence. The chain of command for reporting an incident is as follows. 1. Identify incident to office within 24 hours. 2. Report to a manager. 3. Include a clear written definition of what is reported. 4. Follow up with protocol from office or workers' compensation. So what qualifies an incident? It could be anything that changes the way that we provide care for our clients. This could include falls, burns, medication errors, adverse or allergic reactions, client refusing treatment, client elopement, failure to perform duties as instructed on care plan, unplanned absence of a caregiver, mishaps due to faulty equipment, misuse in equipment, complaints of theft from the client or family, breakage or damage to personal property of client, abuse or neglect of a patient, or allegations of sexual misconduct, client or family complaints, security incidents, motor vehicle accidents. We ensure a safe, healthful workplace for all of our employees at Home Senior Services. Injury and illness losses from incidents are costly and preventable. We employ an effective accident and illness prevention program that involves all employees in the effort to eliminate workplace hazards. What do we do to ensure safety for all of our employees? First, we offer supervision. Supervisors are responsible for supervising and training workers in safe workplace practices. Supervisors must enforce Home Senior Services safety rules and work to eliminate hazardous conditions. Second, we offer a safety committee. The safety committee includes an employer and an employee representative with Home Senior Services. The committee is responsible for identifying hazards and unsafe work practices, removing obstacles to incident prevention, and helping Home Senior Services evaluate the accident and illness prevention program. This safety committee meets once a month. Third, our management looks out for the safety of all of our employees. Our management is accountable for preventing workplace incidents, injuries, and illnesses. Management will provide support for safety program initiatives. Fourth, all of our employees ensure safe work practices. All employees are expected to participate in safety and health program activities, including the following: reporting hazards and accidents immediately to their supervisors or safety committee representative, wearing required personal protective equipment, and participating in and supporting safety committee activities. If an employee ever feels that their immediate safety is compromised at any time while providing care, the employee should leave the client's home and contact the office as soon as possible. Employees should park in well-lit areas at all times. Leave personal belongings and valuables locked in your cars at all times. Wear seatbelts to and from assignments, and use proper body mechanics when caring for clients. In the event of an emergency caused by extreme weather, an earthquake, tornado, blizzard, etc., employees must evaluate the safety of travel from their homes and make a judgment as to whether they can safely travel to their assignment. If you cannot safely make it to your case, immediately contact the office. The office will contact the emergency contact person on the case and ensure that there are arrangements made to care for the client. In the event of a life-threatening emergency, 1. Rescue the client if they are in danger. 2. Call emergency services or 911. 3. Ensure that the client is stable and out of danger. 4. Call Home Senior Services office. 5. The office will then notify the emergency contact person and the family members. 6. Remain with the client until emergency services arrive and then wait for the office to contact you for your next steps. All hourly employees are paid on a bi-weekly basis on the current pay scale approved by the agency. Home Senior Services maintains the pay rate differentials for weekend and midnight shifts as well as for shifts lasting 3 hours or less. The starting rate for all employees is $10 an hour. Home Senior Services pays overtime for any work performed over 40 hours per week. The amount of overtime pay will vary depending on the type of case you are working on. The work week begins on a Sunday and ends at 12 midnight the following Saturday. Overtime must be approved in advance. Home Senior Services does not pay mileage for regular shift work. Mileage reimbursement is allotted with the scheduler in advance of the assignment on an as-need basis only. Any mileage driven as a part of a regular shift work, taking the client to a doctor's, groceries, etc., is reimbursed at the standard rate as long as the flow sheet is completed properly. We require all employees to have a valid driver's license and a motor vehicle record check. Employees will have to show proof of insurance in Pennsylvania for the car they use to transport clients. Employees are prohibited to use cell phones for calls while driving, and there will be absolutely no texting while driving. All part-time temporary employees who work any hours on the following holidays will be compensated at the rate of time and a half the normal hourly rate: New Year's Day, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, Christmas Day, Labor Day, July 4th. If you are working with a client whose services are managed through the state waiver program, the state will not pay holiday time. Your pay is calculated from the documentation you submit to our office. The office must receive your timesheets by 12 noon on Monday every week. Any late paperwork will not be paid on the paycheck for that period, but will be paid to the following period, 2 weeks later. If the paperwork is missing or inaccurate, the employee will not be paid for the shifts until appropriate paperwork is received. It is imperative that all of our employees remember that every work week starts on a Sunday. Mark your timesheets in blue or black ink. Mileage must be recorded on the timesheets, and client signatures must be on the timesheets for them to be considered valid. All employees will receive a report as to the client's medical history and plan of care from the office before the first visit with each client. Any changes in client condition, be it physical, emotional, cognitive, or environmental, must be reported to the supervisor as soon as the observation is made. Call 412-604-0410 at any time of day to report these changes to a supervisor. At-home senior services clients are encouraged to express concerns and complaints freely without risk of compromising care. Employees who work with our clients are encouraged to call the office regarding concerns voiced by our clients. These are the practices that must be observed when regarding DNR orders. What is a DNR order? It is a do not resuscitate order which can only be written by a physician. All DNR orders will be obtained by a nurse and placed in the client's medical record. Any client with a DNR order will have that order placed in a visible location within the home. In the absence of a DNR order, all clients will be considered candidates for CPR in the event of cardiac or respiratory arrest. Because of the nature of our business and the clients that we cater to, it may come to pass that you will encounter the death of a client. In the event of the death of a client, this is the order of steps that you must take. Call 911 immediately. Call At-Home Senior Services Office. From there, At-Home Senior Services Office will call the emergency contact person. Wait there for further instruction and dismissal. You must only transport clients with prior authorization from the office. You must always notify the office prior to taking the client out of the home. All employees are to remain in the client's home for the scheduled time unless otherwise approved by the office. At-Home Senior Services must know where you and the client are at all times. Light housekeeping is a task performed by many of our caregivers. Because it is often requested, it is important to define exactly what light housekeeping is. Light housekeeping consists of laundry, kitchen cleanup, bathroom cleanup, straightening rooms, vacuuming, dusting, and bed making. Occasionally, it can include other light housekeeping chores. It is important to note that light housekeeping is only for the consumer and their personal needs and not anybody else living in the home. When answering a client's phone, say, Jones Residence, your name, speaking. Unauthorized use of a client's phone is grounds for termination. Do not give your client's phone numbers out to anyone. Because we are going into people's homes, it is important that we maintain a certain dress code. All staff is required to maintain a professional appearance at all times while on an assignment. Clothing that is prohibited includes shorts, spandex, sweatshirts, shape-up shoes, sweatpants, t-shirts with writing, and open-toed shoes. Scrubs are acceptable but not required. Violation of At-Home Senior Services dress code could result in termination. Absolutely no smoking is permitted while providing services to clients, even with the permission of clients or their family. There is to be absolutely no consumption of alcoholic beverages or other intoxicants while on duty. Reporting to an assignment under the influence of any drug or alcohol will not be condoned. A client's medications are for their use only. Do not take any of the client's medication for any reason. Drug testing is a part of the At-Home Senior Services hiring process and can be conducted at any time throughout employment. You are responsible for providing your own meals while on an assignment. There will be no off-premises lunchtime provided. You are not to take food from a client's home at all. Because we are a part-time employment agency, it is vital that we are able to contact you and that all of your information is up to date. It is your responsibility to update the office with all changes to your personal information. This can include telephone number, emergency contacts, car insurance, TB test, address, driver's license, and anything else that we may need on file. At-Home Senior Services is not responsible for your personal belongings while you are on an assignment. Please make sure that your belongings are stored properly within the home. Any report of items missing from a client's home should be reported immediately to the office. Our client's privacy is paramount. At Home Senior Services is committed to client privacy and required by law to maintain the privacy of client health information. We only use client health information to take care of clients in their homes. Clients have the right to view their medical records and to request restrictions on our use and disclosure of their health information. You are not to share any personal health information of the client. Personal health information includes any of the following that regard a client's health: charts, reports, conversations, faxes, electronic files, and anything else that you may feel is confidential. Who can you talk to in the client's home about personal health information? Talk with your client or ask Mary Jo to identify which family members the client allows to know about their personal health information. The client will sign an agreement to release information about their care to the family members or friends of their choosing. For further details regarding HIPAA policy, please refer to your handbook. If you still have questions, you can feel free to contact the office and Mary Jo at 412-604-0410. Do not give out your personal information to clients. This includes your phone number, email, or address. Instead, have your client contact the office for any questions or concerns regarding their care. Giving your personal information to a client will be considered a violation of our policy and could result in termination. Do not bring any unauthorized visitors into the client's home. This can include children, friends, spouses, pets, or anybody who should not have access to your client's home. Do not give out the client's phone number to anybody for any reason. Instruct family and friends that in a case of emergency, they can contact the At Home Senior Services office, or they can call any mobile device belonging to you, the employee. There should be no selling or solicitation to or by any personnel of At Home Senior Services. This includes anything for charitable, religious, political, or private gain. You are not permitted to make private employment arrangements with clients. Any employee who makes a private arrangement with a client is liable to At Home Senior Services for all damages and costs that At Home Senior Services suffers. Do not assist clients with financial matters such as payment of bills, writing of checks, or personal banking. If your client requests that you run errands to the store for them to make a purchase, authorization must first be granted from the At Home Senior Services office. No purchase of cigarettes or alcohol is allowed. Do not become involved in the client's legal matters, such as the preparation of their last will and/or lawsuits. Do not accept any keys from the clients unless proper authorization has been granted by the office. Do not accept money from clients as a gift, gratuity, or loan. Notify the office prior to the acceptance of any gift made by a client or family. Do not recommend specific physicians or other health care professionals to any client. Instead, refer the client to the office for such assistance. The registered nurse assigned to open the case will complete a care plan with the input from the client and the family. As a caregiver, you will be briefed on the client's needs and any special arrangements that are to be made for each specific case. You will receive this information before your first day on a new case. To best understand what is included within a care plan, you can refer to your handbook. At Home Senior Services is a non-medical private duty home care agency. Therefore, unlicensed employees of At Home Senior Services are not allowed to administer drugs or medications to the clients. What is not allowed? Opening a pill bottle and/or physically pouring out medications for a client. Cutting, crushing, or dissolving medications for a client. Physically putting medications into a client's mouth, food or feeding tube, or other feeding apparatus. Placing pills into a pill box or medication cup. This is considered measurement of medication. Receiving phone calls from medical professionals regarding changes in medication. Insisting that a client take any type of medication upon the client's initial refusal to take the medication. When a client refuses to take the medication, the caregiver should immediately contact the office. What is allowed? Bringing medication, pill boxes, or cups to clients at the time assigned by the medication profile and pouring the pills from the cup or box into the client's hand. Reminding clients of medication warnings and interactions. Notifying the client, family, and office of possible mistakes a client has made in taking their own medications or in setting up their medication boxes. Notifying the client, family, and office of perceived side effects of medication. Notifying the office immediately of any refusal on the part of the client to take assigned medication. Senior citizens' immune systems are often weaker than our own. This means that we need to take the proper protocol to control infections in their homes. How do we do this? Effective hand washing is needed before and after any client contact or procedure. Gloves should be worn in situations where bodily fluid is handled, there is contact with mucous membranes, or where there are skin lesions. Any caregivers with a draining lesion or dermatitis should not give client care until the condition has cleared. Needles are not to be recapped. Instead, they should be disposed of in a sharps container. Surfaces or equipment contaminated with blood or other bodily fluid should be washed with soap and water, then cleansed with a household bleach solution. Launder clothes in hot water. Disposable razors should be disposed of immediately. A thermometer should be used by the client exclusively. Client interactions with those who have colds or other infectious diseases should be avoided whenever possible. Masks should be worn by the caregiver whenever cold or flu symptoms are present. Daily personal hygiene habits of the client should be encouraged. Client exposure to pets in the home should be limited. Tissues and soiled dressings should be discarded into a plastic bag. This bag should be placed in another garbage bag and then into a garbage receptacle with a tightly fitting lid. Blood and body wastes can be carefully poured or flushed down toilets that are connected to sanitary sewage systems. Employees will observe proper hygiene at all times. This includes bathing, brushing teeth, grooming hair or beards, and wearing clean clothing. Employees will report suspected infectious diseases to the office immediately upon the onset of symptoms. Employees will not care for clients if they have signs of infection or have been diagnosed as contagious. Employees will observe respiratory and contact isolation precautions for all clients through placing the client into the most private area of the home, teaching the client to cover their mouth when coughing, teaching the client to discard used tissues immediately after use, teaching the client proper hand washing techniques. Encourage clients to wash hands immediately after coughing or sneezing, wearing a mask if coughing is uncontrolled or if the client is unable to cover their own mouth, wearing gloves when touching exudates, double bagging all trash. If you are exposed to blood or bodily fluid from a client who is HIV or HBV positive, At-Home Senior Services will make testing available for you. When caring for any HIV or HBV positive client, you will be provided with all of the necessary personal protective equipment that you need. If you need more information about HIV or HBV prevention, please look to your handbook. The two-step TB screening test is required in any field where you might interact with seniors. All employees are required to show proof of the two-step TB screening test at hire. The one-step TB test is to be repeated on an annual basis if you wish to continue employment with At-Home Senior Services. With all of that said and done, we would like to welcome you warmly to our elite staff of caregivers at At-Home Senior Services. If you have any questions at all regarding your orientation or any other questions that you may have, please address them to our office staff now.